You face a lot of professional footballers. Who's the best one you've faced?
I understand why he's the best free kick taker. I'll say the most surprising, like, it was so tough saving their shots. I am Levi Ashen's dad. I was diving on a Monday. He literally finished scoring on a Thursday. Just so I can be able to say I've literally saved a penalty from the world's best penalty taker and free kick taker.
And who's the best YouTube penalty taker?
Here we go.
It's definitely between and Rotashaw Harry is amazing at penalties.
I want you to rate 4 YouTubers in order. Chris MD.
Yep.
Miniminter.
Yep.
TBJZL.
Yep.
And Theo Baker.
Oh.
Hey guys, crack open a drink because we are back with another episode of the Blue Podcast with me, Mackers and Tom. How you doing, mate?
Doing very well, thank you, mate. How are you today?
A little bit stressful journey here, but I'm here and ready because we've got another great guest on this week.
We do. Today's guest is a member of Under the Radar FC, one of the most recognisable goalkeepers on the internet. You'll often see him in Chris MD or Miniminter videos, and also on Soccer AM regularly too.
Indeed.
Today's guest is Big John.
Yes.
Yeah, we're ready.
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. Literally just came back from Soccer AM today as well. So yeah, it's nice to be on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
Absolute
thank
pleasure,
you very
mate.
much for coming
Absolute
on,
pleasure. We'll crack on with our icebreaker questions. If you don't know what it is, we ask 2 multiple choice questions, complete guess. If you want to play along at home, let us know how you did on Twitter at the Blue Podcast 1 or in the comments. Do you want to start us off, Tom?
So, John, also, if you get a question wrong, you should take a big swing.
Yes.
They're the rules. There's got to be some form of
Of course.
punishment, right? Of course.
Wait, that's a punishment?
I like it. Anyway, we'll start with my one. How many different clubs has Ben Foster played for?
Oh, what a
Is
question.
it A, 4, B, 5, or C6?
Okay, let me try to think of this, right? So I know he's played for Watford, he's played for West Brom, he's played for Birmingham, he's played for Manchester United. Those are the ones I know. I feel like he was somewhere. Are we talking about just professional clubs?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was somewhere before
I think 5.
Manchester United as well.
I thought he was there when he was really young, though. He was there when he was really young
Where?
at United. Like that was.
Yeah, but he signed from, I think it was from like Stoke or something. It's one of those teams.
Maybe.
So it's between 5 and 6.
We've got 5.
I'm just gonna go 5.
I've only named 5, so yeah, I'm going to go with 5.
You should have gone 4, John.
Oh!
You should have backed yourself. You listed out every single club he was at. Man U, West Brom, Birmingham, and Watford. They're the 4.
Oh,
Damn.
wow. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, my question. I love Foster's brilliant. Who is the first English keeper to get sent off? Little clue here was versus Ukraine.
Jesus.
Was it A, Rob Green, B, Peter Shilton, or C, David James?
Jesus Christ.
Well, I think purely because David James and Rob Green are more recent, it's got to be Shilton, right? The first ever English keeper to get sent off, it's got to be Shilton.
You see, I feel like it'll probably be the opposite. I think Peter Shilton's just there, yeah, just to be like
throw us off.
placeholder.
Shilton's been around for
Yeah, he's got the most caps of
longer.
any player in the English squad.
I'm backing myself, I'm going Shilton.
You know what? I'll go for David James.
David? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, actually, you both got it wrong.
Oh,
It was Rob Green versus Ukraine.
Jesus
Man
Christ.
can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Can he?
There we go. No, cheers.
Yeah.
I'll go 6 for that.
That's fair enough. To be fair, we don't normally cheers our guests with Miss Swiggin, but that's
It's a beautiful tradition, John.
that is a good tradition that we're going to include now.
First time for everything.
Absolutely.
Christ. Okay, bit of an obscure one, boys.
Okay.
Well, not that obscure, really. Nottingham Forest are massive. Which goalkeeper wears number 1 for Nottingham Forest? Don't doubt yourselves on this one.
Okay.
Is
Is it a trick
is
question?
it A, Dean Henderson, B, Wayne Hennessy, or C, Jordan Smith?
You see, is this just one of those where like Dean Henderson is just like the answer we expect it to be?
Yeah.
So it's probably not him.
Who's
No, and Wayne Hennessy joined
Wayne
pretty
Hennessy
late.
and Jordan Smith. Academy graduate Jordan Smith.
Yeah,
I want to say Hennessy because I know he's playing today for Forest.
He is playing today for us.
Yeah.
We're currently winning.
Are you? I thought you were.
Bournemouth,
I thought you were losing 1-0.
Winning 1-0. Ryan Yates.
Oh, I thought you were losing 1-0.
I hope it stays on. Who are we going for?
I'm going Hennessy.
Yeah, Smith.
It's Dean Henderson, guys. You've got to back yourselves. Come on.
I thought it was a trick question.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a trick question. It was too obvious.
Cheers.
If this was just like a way to try and get me drunk, it's a good start.
It's a clever way.
All right, last question. Lev Yashin is reputed to have saved how many penalties? A, 150, B, 200, or C, 250?
There's no way. Come on, you're a keeper. There's no way you're saving 200 penalties.
Have you saved 200 penalties? Probably.
I mean, I literally done a video with Miniminter the other day.
You did. How tiring was that? How tiring was that?
You know what? I would have thought it would have been way more tiring, but it actually was pretty chill. Like, because you have such a break between the goals and like,
Yeah.
you get rid of all the like polite way dead wood very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had actual like other goalkeepers as well.
Yeah.
I say goalkeepers. It was Viz and Simon's brother.
Yeah.
Nick. But yeah, it was alright, you know. So I think Lev Yashin is only just a little bit better than me. So I would say
Just a tiny bit.
so if I saved around 100 and something, I'll say 150 for him.
I'm going 150 too. Yeah, I'll back
You both are correct.
Yes, come on.
No drinks for
You
you
didn't even
guys.
back yourself.
Well, no, I was a little on the fence, but come on. I mean, there's no way you're saving more than 200 penalties, surely. Surely.
Never know.
You never know. You never know.
Anyway, I think to crack this video off, John, I think you face a lot of professional footballers on YouTube over your
Yes.
time, and I think everybody would just like to know who's the best one you've faced. We've seen
Straight off the bat.
We've seen Emil Smith-Rowe, we've seen Jorginho, we've seen so many more as well.
Yeah.
Who's the best?
Oh, what a question. It's a tough one for two reasons. One, because one of the people that it might be,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say just yet, just because I've only filmed with him the other day.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I'll probably say
That's
him.
not James Ward-Prowse, is it?
It's not, but I'll say this: his free kicks are absolutely amazing. Like, I understand why he's the best free kick taker in the world.
Would
because
you say he is categorically the best free
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like, there's when we were filming, like, because sometimes when you film, you have to condense a video. You know that we filmed like 45 minutes with him, so you don't get to see all the aspects of it. But there was a few free kicks he took. The absolute whip and speed on the shot is crazy.
Mad.
I'm trying to think who it would be. I'll say the most surprising, Jack Butland. He's
Really?
got an absolute strike on him.
Has he?
Yeah.
For a keeper as well.
Absolute cannon. Damn.
He's stuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
How about Matty Cash? Because you faced him at Soccer AM, didn't you? And
was alright.
we love Matty Cash. Matty Cash is a great footballer.
There's context there.
I was gonna say, I heard that you guys got under a bit of fire with Matty Cash. Is it right to mention his name again?
No, we are just big fans of Matty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
big fans.
Just-
No, to be honest, so am I.
He's a good player, to be fair.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna say this one. You guys might have to blur my lips for this one, but it's probably either.
Wow, really? You film? I guess you film with them recently.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're the best ones.
I think so. Like, literally, I was going up against them. Like, it was so tough saving their shots. Like, you understand why they're like doing really well. Like,
All the professionals you faced in come out on top.
yeah, genuinely, it's. But then also, I had the opposite with. Once again, I can't say this. With where I felt like. I felt his shots were like all right.
Really?
Yeah, like one side you can see is clearly his better one. Like, if he goes to get like across himself, like, what a strike! If he was to try to like whip it around, the shot has absolutely no power.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so if
I guess he's just more techie though, isn't he? Like he's not the striker.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess anyone watching will find out soon. who
Hopefully,
those people-
yeah, exactly. They'll see the video. I know it's gonna go viral everywhere.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
That's pretty good. I think on a similar line to that actually, because obviously you faced James Ward-Prowse recently, and you'll admit he's the best free
Yeah.
taker in the world. How about Jorginho? Because you've
Yes.
faced him.
Yes.
I am a Chelsea
Not
fan,
only
so this is a
faced
good
him.
question. Yeah, true.
Not only
obviously.
faced him,
Yeah.
but you saved the penalty.
I know.
Is he the best penalty taker in the world? And does that make you save the best penalty taker?
I am Lev Yashin's dad. You know what? I'll say this, right? So, literally, I was absolutely bricking it the morning of. I was like, look, I've got an opportunity to film with. I want to absolutely save a penalty. And like the first penalty he's taken, right? When he actually done the hop and everything, right? I was diving on a Monday. He literally finished scoring on a Thursday. Like I was already gone. Like his technique is absolutely crazy. And I'll definitely put him up there because I think a lot of goalkeepers hate that technique and he's confident with it. Did he go easy with his penalties? Maybe with the first one. The second one, I was definitely in his head a little bit. But yeah, I'll probably put him up there, definitely. I think there's only a handful of players that are probably better than him at penalties, whether that's Tony, Neymar, Lewandowski. I think he's there.
Tony's penalties are even more special, I'd say, than Jorginho's. The pure eye contact with the keeper.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And this is why, if Tony's listening, I want to take you on just so I can be able to say I've literally saved a penalty from the world's best penalty taker and free kick taker.
Do you think that Ivan Toney is the best penalty taker?
I think so. I think at this current moment, like he doesn't miss penalties. So it's only right to say he's up there. I think Lewandowski missed his in the World Cup, unfortunately, me being a Poland fan. And then like Neymar as well, he's had his moments where he's missed here and there, but Tony's just been consistent.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that you don't mention like Messi or Ronaldo up there, but is that because obviously they're the two GOATs? Most people would argue that. Do you think there's something different that makes a penalty taker just different gravy compared to being a good player?
You know what? Definitely. I think there's more to it. I mean, with Messi, you look at it and it's like, you can tell when the pressure's big that he changes up his technique, and that's why Szczesny saved his penalty and whatnot. And with Ronaldo, yeah, he's a good penalty taker. I think I'd like to think that I'll be more likely to save his penalty than some of the other guys, just because I feel like he's got his favourite side that he likes to shoot. I think the same with Harry Kane and stuff like that. I could be talking out of, you know what I'm saying? I could be talking about us. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear or whatnot.
You can swear, bro.
Okay,
You can swear.
cool. But yeah, genuinely, I think there's more to it in that sense. And I think once you excel at a trait, kind of like Ward-Prowse, because realistically, a lot of people know Ward-Prowse for his free kicks more than anything else, even though he's gifted in other aspects. But you compare him to like Ronaldo or whatnot, it's not even close thinking about who's better at free kicks. So, yeah.
No, it's a good point, well made, I think.
Yeah.
Max,
I was going to say, should we continue on the who's the best at penalties and who's the best YouTube penalty taker?
Here we go.
What a question. I think it's definitely between Simon Miniminter and Chris MD.
Okay.
But the crazy part is I think I'm more likely to save Chris's penalties, but Jesus Christ, if he hits one, there is no saving it. And I think I've only really saved one of Simon's penalties, which is
That's
crazy. He shanked a few over, but and also it doesn't get talked about enough. Rotashaw Harry is amazing at penalties.
Is he?
Yes. Like, he barely ever misses his penalties. Like, and if he does, it's like because he's trying to do something more than actually trying to score a penalty. I think I've only ever saved one of his penalties. And in all the big moments that he's taken penalties, as you watch, like in certain videos and whatnot, always buries them.
Would you say he's better than Chris MD and Miniminter then?
Potentially. I think, you know what? Technically, no, of course. I think those guys, like, once they are able to hit, they hit. But realistically, if you're scoring all your penalties, it's hard to go against it, realistically. So
I mean, yeah, you can't argue with that, can you?
So it might be, you know what, for the content, let's say Harry's the best penalty taker on YouTube.
TikTok clip, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I've got a similar one along the similar lines, actually. But I want you to rate 4 YouTubers in order in terms of who's the best at football in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely not going to get callbacks after this.
Chris MD.
Yep.
Miniminter,
Yep.
TBJZL,
Yep.
and Theo Baker.
Oh.
Can
Rank
I
them in order.
can I throw in one more?
Go on.
Manny.
I
Okay,
knew that was coming. That was one person I probably didn't want to hear. Okay, and are we talking about in an actual football scenario or like YouTube videos? Because I think that makes a difference.
Let's say in a real football game.
Okay,
who's
cool.
the best, technically.
This might surprise you guys, right? Oh, and I hate saying this because I'm meant to be recording with him soon. I think in actual football scenario, out of those 5, I am putting Simon Miniminter last.
Wow.
Yes. I feel like a lot of people are shocked with that, but I think
Yeah.
he would say it himself. He's a player that's very good in a dead ball scenario and all of these things, and he excels in like charity games. But like that's also like one of the reasons why he kind of stopped playing with UTR.
Because he was with them at the start, wasn't he?
Yeah. And now he kind of like he doesn't want to play for a team just based off legacy or like name, right? He wants to be able to say that, oh, I deserve this spot, and because we've got such a good team, he's kind of worried at times. He's like, oh, I'm not sure if like I'll be able to get in, so I'm gonna have to put him as number 5.
Okay.
I know my number 1. It's just the middle 3. That's a tough one.
Who's your number 1?
Wait, no. Let's build up.
Okay, build up. Sorry, build up. Let's build up.
I'd probably say Toby number 4. Even though he's versatile, he's very versatile. He can play a lot of positions. But it's just hard to say. I think the other 3 have like a little something extra in their game, so I think I'm gonna have to put him number 4. But it's very close. It's very close.
That knowledge as well that all 5 of these are really
Oh,
good
amazing.
football.
Oh, yeah,
Amazing.
probably.
Very good.
Would you say that they are the top 5 YouTubers?
I'll probably put Billy Wingrove number 1.
Yeah, but
just like
yeah. In that sort of YouTube scene,
Yeah.
two related, yeah.
I might put Philly up there
Okay.
as well.
Yeah,
I've seen it,
fantastic at the charity match, wasn't it?
and then he played well in the what's it called again?
Soccer Aid?
Soccer Aid, yeah.
Yeah. Very good on the ball. Like I don't even think we've even seen anywhere close. I used to play like 5-a-side sometimes with him at the team, and he is so technically like good
Is he?
on the ball. Like it's crazy. Like you wouldn't even guess it.
He's quite built now as well, isn't he?
he's a bit of a short guy with just muscles on muscles. I respect it. But yeah, I'll probably say those are like the main 5 in that sense.
And who we going?
Number 3.
The top 3.
Oh, I'll say
What are we saying?
I'll say number 3 and 2 are interchangeable.
Okay.
Right? I'll probably say. Okay, I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be a business decision as well, right? I'm gonna put Theo Baker number 3.
Okay.
Right? Which is very close because he's got an absolute strike on him and he can play really well. I'll put Chris MD number 2 and Manny is my number 1.
Okay.
I did think you were going to put Manny number 1 as
Yeah,
well.
and this isn't because I play for Under the Radar. Just quick disclaimer. But no, he's amazing on the ball. Genuinely, like I think he's also improved so much that we saw him in this charity game, and that was a drop in the ocean for what he's capable of. Like I've had the pleasure of playing alongside him, for a year, 2.5, and I'm always impressed. Like just how calm he's on the ball and what he's able to do is just crazy. And he'll probably say himself that. To be honest, all of them say that Jed, the third brother, is the best one, but I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they might edge out and say that Manny's probably a little bit better than Toby, but you didn't hear that from me.
In terms of Under the Radar,
Yeah.
how did you get involved in that? Did Manny approach you, or how did
It
go?
was by pure luck. So what happened was I had to leave my uni a year earlier. I got injured and decided to leave by like mutual, decision with my manager. And literally just as I came back to the UK, I was met with COVID. Not personally, but the fact that COVID was about. So I decided to stay. And very quickly, I kind of like fell out of football, but luckily I was like, oh, you know what? Let me play some semi-pro football and see how I feel. And one of my mates, George, he ended up playing for that team. And I actually didn't really know him personally. I knew him through like a mutual friend, and we were friends on Instagram. But we became good mates at this team. And one day I'm literally just chilling at home in my bed, and I am the laziest guy you could probably think, right? I was watching a YouTube video, probably like a Sidemen video or something like that, and the autoplay feature was on, and it was a Manny video. And usually it's like, if it's a Sunday League video, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like how can I watch Sunday League on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But I was too lazy to switch it, and I started watching the video, and he's going through the lineup of players, and he like mentions, oh, and the left back, we've got George. And I was like, wait a second, wait, what? What? Something's not adding up. So literally the next training session, I like go up to him. Of course, I didn't want to make it like known that I've watched it. Like I didn't want to seem like, oh, like a fanboy or anything like that. Yeah. So I went up to him, and at the time I wasn't able to play any games for my semi-pro team because I was still kind of under contract with my uni team. So I was like, hey mate, not really playing many games like for the Saturday team, but I really want to get minutes. By any chance, do you know any good Sunday teams that I might potentially be able to play for? And he was like, listen, cool, I'll invite you along, but just make sure that like you're consistent, you're there every single week. And realistically, I've been there through thick and thin. I've played games where literally my body's broken. I've played on like damaged groins and yeah.
Dedication. Dedication.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, the groin injury was from a game, you know what I'm saying? Just in case if anybody was wondering. But yeah, so I kind of understood that I needed to represent him in a good light. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a good job with it. So yeah.
I think most would agree with that, to be fair. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You two are still doing pretty well.
Yeah, whenever we actually play games. Yeah, this season's been a bit hectic. We've only really played 2 league games, and we're nearly in Feb, so
Yeah.
it's a bit tragic.
It's not ideal.
Not ideal at all.
But on a similar line, actually, how did you first get into working with the big YouTubers? I'm guessing it was an extension of getting into Under the Radar. Obviously, you meet Manny then.
Yeah.
How like you're working with Miniminter, Chris,
Yeah.
all these people now. How did that first happen?
So to answer your question, I think a lot of it also was a bit of luck
really?
in that sense, yeah. But to be honest, no. My first ever shoot that I done with Simon and Toby, so that was the 100 shot challenge and the old school versus new school boots. That came through my manager. So they asked me, they said, look, we would love to have a goalkeeper to do like some challenges with these 2 guys. And they were like, oh, would you be down for it? And I was like, yes, like immediately. Like, I didn't even think too much of it. And I think they were probably expecting somebody that wasn't as good, or maybe like didn't put in as much effort.
Well, if you think about kind of who used to be in goal for
Exactly.
them, there was some goals which you'd say could have been saved.
Exactly.
Questionable. I think,
Yeah.
is the perfect
Yeah.
word.
Whereas now, obviously, with you, there's a little bit more.
I feel like I've ruined YouTube at this point, because I think everybody kind of expects good goalkeepers, and I think the wave kind of started a little bit more since I've kind of been in goal.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like not acceptable to just put like Vic Star in goal or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We want some better goalkeepers, and that actually helped me out quite a bit, because I didn't really have like work outside of like an extra Toby shoot that year. I did have like an amazing moment that happened in between it. I was lucky enough to be invited to play at the Camp Nou, right?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Was that incredible? I'm guessing.
yeah, oh, it was amazing. Genuinely, to be able to say that I've scored and saved penalties at the Camp Nou is like, I'm going to take that to the grave, you know.
How did that come about?
That was by surprise, pure luck again. But I'll get to that in a second. Yeah. But yeah, with Chris, it was pretty funny, because realistically, as much as I work with him now, I didn't really watch his content as much. And I've had a few mates that were like fans of his and stuff like that. And he posted on his Instagram, he was like, look, I'm looking for a goalkeeper at like a pretty decent level for a video. And I saw the application on Instagram. I applied to it very quickly, and I was like, look, I've done work with these and these these and these people. Are you interested in me coming down? And his PA got back to me at like 1 a.m. in the morning or something
Really?
like that, right? Yeah. And she was like, hey, listen, like, we checked through your profile and I think you'll be amazing. Like, the fact that you've already done work, it'll be really cool. Are you available this Sunday? Right? And
What day was this when?
she, I think, said it on like a Wednesday or something like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Plenty notice.
But it was the start of the year, and I originally was meant to sign with a team in Sweden. So I was meant to fly out on that Sunday.
Professional contracts.
I think we was meant to try to figure out the formalities or whatever out there in Sweden first and all of that. So that was meant to be the flight for that Sweden.
Wow.
So originally I said to the PA, I was like, sorry, but I'm not available. And she was like, oh, okay. I was I was not expecting this. She's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we'll invite you another time or something like that, right? So okay, cool, no worries. I think 2 days before I was meant to fly out to Sweden, the deal fell through.
Okay.
So immediately, first thing I know when I heard that, I went back to message. I was like, look, I'm available. Please get me back on. And yeah, she was like, look, thank you so much that you messaged me, because I would have had to sieve through like another 500 emails. But luckily you've said that you can make it. So yeah, come down, come join the video. And that was like the Bitcoin video. So that's like one of his
That was a big
bigger ones.
video.
And like casually, you just see people like JJ, Harry and all of those guys there. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then ever since then, I think I've done pretty well. And he's kind of trusted in me being his goalkeeper ever since. And I've had some amazing experiences with him through it. Like, done videos with like Mikel Arteta and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't have expected it. Or like the Smith-Rowe video and all of these things. Like, he's in a really good position where a lot of companies and a lot of people trusted him. So I'm kind of like, as long as I'm there, it kind of helps me out, kind of, boost my image as well. So
Do you know what I think as well? I think that YouTube shifted in terms of, from your standpoint, being a goalkeeper to before they're just a nameless person in the background, but now they'll actually include in the video. If you make a great save, they'll go, "Oh, great save, John."
Yeah.
Is that beneficial to you in terms of
course.
getting your name out there?
I mean, I feel like they don't really have a choice, because I think if we record a video for 45 minutes and I make 40 minutes of saves, then we're going to run out of content. Yeah, it definitely kind of changed the outlook of stuff, because realistically, kind of like you said, prior to some of us that kind of joined the scene recently, there wasn't really many goalkeepers that you would look up to, big up to all of the people before, like your Charlie Morleys and Big G and stuff like that. Like I've got respect for them, because they've been on the scene for a while, and like I said, it's been cool now to kind of like change the outlook of stuff. And you go into like comment sections of a lot of videos, and like people look at it and be like, look, wow, we need this goalkeeper back, or like we need these type of things. And kind of like you mentioned, I think it kind of works in tandem, because not only does it help me out, because I'll get like a bit more publicity, I guess, and like get showcased a little bit more, but at the same time, for somebody like Chris MD, it kind of legitimized his video, be like, look, I'm not doing it against scrubs, okay? Not necessarily scrubs, but now I'm doing it against somebody that people would see like as a good goalkeeper. And now I know that if I do score a goal, it's going to be an amazing goal. And that's why I think it's probably for the better for YouTube, unless you're probably a creator starting out that want to showcase and you don't have the facilities to do it. But yeah.
Well, it kind of one of the funny things, there was a Chris MD video recently, I think, where they had to do another day, because I guess you were saving all the goals and they kept on missing, and so he had to then shoot on another day because they just couldn't get content recently.
So we've had a few instances of that. I think the most notable one was when we had a video with Mikel Arteta for the first time. So it was like a knuckleball video, and Chris wanted to recreate like Arteta's iconic knuckleball shot and all of these things. And of course, when you work with either athletes or people that are already in higher places, you get a specific time slot. Right? So he recorded it, and he literally just kind of turned around to us. He's like, damn, I wasted this opportunity. Like, I wanted like an iconic goal for this video, but fortunately I missed out on it. So we literally had to get an extra day where he was just like spent, I don't know, like an hour or two just trying to score this absolute amazing knuckleball. But then he was like, well, I have to book another pitch. I have to do all of these things, blah, blah. And yeah, it does happen. But he's an absolute perfectionist, and I've got massive respect. Like, he doesn't want to just post videos for the sake of it. Like, the goals, he wants to make sure that they look good. You know, whether that's for entertainment or even just for himself. So it does also mean that we might sometimes have to film a little bit longer than usual, but I don't blame him.
No, it's actually interesting you mentioned that about him being a perfectionist, and sometimes that means the videos run on a little longer. One of my questions was going to be, who's been your favourite YouTuber to film with?
Barring Chris MD.
Yeah. Well, if Chris is the answer, then absolutely.
No, he's definitely up there. I think, to be honest, I've had such amazing experiences with a lot of people that I've been filming with. So it's hard for me to, like, I don't want to discredit anyone, but I think the ones that I've probably gotten on with the most, I think, is probably, well, Chris up there, Simon, and Harry.
Okay.
I think they are probably also the most down to earth. And like every single time I've filmed with them, they've been really chill, actually want to get to know you as well. Which sometimes when you've got different people, it's kind of like a blur. They kind of like see you and then potentially might not even get to see you ever again. So it was nice to kind of like talk to them. I'm not going to go into details, but I've even been on a night out with Chris, which is, yeah.
Feel free
No, that's for off the camera stuff. But yeah, and it's like, you know, you look at, of course, you know, they're regular human beings at the end of the day, but it's like, you know, they are not forced or anything like that to be in a, you know, specific type of way. So for them to actually go out the way and kind of like, you know, just be a regular human being to you as well, I think it's really cool. So they're definitely up there.
No, that's a good shout. What about Chunks as well? Because you mentioned him beforehand, and obviously everyone knows that Chunks is this like hilarious comedian.
Yeah.
Tom as being a great YouTuber. Is he perhaps like the funniest one you've come across? Obviously, Harry Roadshaw is hilarious. Everyone knows that.
I'll probably say Stephen Tries is the funniest guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%.
We literally filmed it the other day, and Jesus Christ, there's this different level. The fact that he's able to think of things as quickly as he does is crazy. I think him and Harry, genuinely, they are interesting characters, to say the least. But then, to be honest, also like a lot of the people that you see, sometimes how they are on screen is completely different, and not even in a bad way. I feel like when I first met Harry, for example, or JJ, they were a little bit introverted and stuff like that. Like and nothing to take away from them. Maybe I just made them nervous or shy. I don't know. Maybe I have an effect on people like that. But
it's funny you say that, because Pav said something similar about Nico.
Yeah.
He said he was slightly more quiet at first.
Yeah, that's very true.
Do you think that's just them like preserving that they've got a YouTube personality that they have to just store up, and then when the camera comes on, it just comes out?
So in certain cases, yes. I feel like JJ's, for example, is the most perfect one at that. Like, there's certain moments where like he's kind of more chilled and relaxed, and the moment the camera's on, he's like, bam, completely different character, but in a good way.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's like, for a lot of these guys, I'm sure they probably have to go through this whole thing every single day, and you know, every single hour of the day. And it's like sometimes they probably just want to be chilled out and not even think about anything until they get into filming. So I do get those aspects. And sometimes maybe that's just their character, you know. Maybe it's like because they're out of their comfort zone, or maybe they're in a sense of, okay, cool, the camera gives them like more confidence than they really are. So it could be a mixture of things, realistically.
Fair enough. Yeah. Moving on from YouTube, obviously you are involved with Soccer AM now.
Yep.
Again, we kind of asked how has this come about, but how did Soccer AM come about?
Okay. Well, a little bit, of course, but no, this was actually an interesting story. I actually like saying this one. Now, I can assure you that within the first 5 seconds, you will probably be like, what is happening, right?
Okay.
So, I've got a friend that works on Love Island, right?
Yes.
Okay, you've got me.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm always saying this story and people are like, what do you mean? So, yeah, I had a mate that worked on Love Island and he's been working in production, or he's been a runner, or like, you know, just been involved in many shows, from The Chase, Love Island, everything, right? Big up to Scott. Now, I remember I asked him, look, what can I do to like be on TV? And he originally was like, hey, listen, what, do you want to be on Love Island or like The Chase? I was like, listen, I'll need to go to Turkey first, you know what I'm saying? Sort out some things before I go on Love Island. But he was like, look, you're going to have to find the producers. I'm going to have to find a way to contact them directly. Don't contact like any actual Instagram pages or whatever. Just contact the producers. So I done my homework. I went through LinkedIn, found the producers, went on Twitter, Instagram, just DM'd them on everything, right? And one of the producers got back to me. He's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll speak to some other people, right? I've heard that plenty of times.
Yeah.
But then the other producer got in touch with me and he was like, oh, listen, yeah, I've, you know, what you do, we've seen a few of these things. You'll be a good addition to the show. He was like, oh, we'll try to figure out when we can bring you onto the show. I had to wait a whole year.
Oh,
yeah.
So after you got confirmation they bring you in
yes.
a year after that?
They were saying, oh, it's because of COVID and all of these things. And I was like, well, listen, I can keep my distance. Just take your shots from like 18 yards out, you know. But yeah, literally, it was forever until I got my chance. And then one day, all of the goalkeepers that were meant to be like on the show just said they couldn't make it. And it was like very last second. So just got a message out of the blue going, hey mate, how do you fancy making your Soccer AM debut? And I was like, sign me up. And ever since then, I think originally when I started off on Soccer AM, of course, you get those nerves and all of these things. And yeah, I had a bit of a stinker to start off with. It was a bit slippery on the pitch, but when I got my clean sheet against Jimmy Bullard, I was like, yeah, I'm staying on the show.
That is it's a good thing to have in the locker, clean sheet against Jimmy Bullard.
Of course. Just added it to my list of things, you know, just ticking them off slowly.
How is it? Because we actually I interviewed Tim Lovejoy a few years ago, or even a year and a half ago, I'd say.
Oh wow, nice.
Roughly that. But it's kind of obviously it's changed. I think a lot since obviously he's been on. Can you reveal any of the ins and outs of how it actually works? Is it very kind of as we see it on the screen, or is there a lot more behind the scenes that we don't see?
I think it's like a mixture of things. Because it's a live show, you kind of see it how it is. So a lot of the things that do go on are pretty much how they are. But of course, there's more planning that goes to it. Luckily, I'm not involved in the planning side of things. Just get me out on the pitch. Let me do my thing.
Lock up and make safe.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, it's like they definitely do a lot of planning before the show. I think they try to get the ideas done by Thursday. Then we do a rehearsal just before the show. And then once it's the show, anything goes. So we kind of just go with the flow and see what works. And they try to keep like they keep as legit as it comes as well. I've been asked plenty of times like, oh, do you let any shots in or anything? And genuinely, we've had contestants, right, that we knew don't play football, and the producer would come up to me and he's like, if you go easy with any of these contestants, I will literally sack you as you're standing there.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty chill show. Like all of the guys are really chill. Like he'll be able to say as well, they're really caring and they do look out for you. And the fact that, you know, the moment I joined the show, they were like, within third episode, they were like, look, we really love you on the show. How about we give you a jingle? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm not going to say no to that. And yeah, it's like a lot of them really care about you and want all the best for you. So yeah, it's an amazing show.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I want to take it down a different route at the moment and a bit more of a fun, light-hearted question. Since you're a goalkeeper, you're probably the most qualified person in this room to answer this. Who for you is the best goalkeeper in world football right now?
Oh, right now.
Right now. And obviously you can't say Dean Henderson because that's far too obvious an answer.
I would have said Wayne Hennessy actually, but I'm
close.
I see the Forest bias, so I'll probably go against it. What a question. It's hard to say because I don't think there's been like many absolute standouts at this current moment. I think a lot of people would say Courtois, but I think even then, like he's had a few moments where I'll probably say, I don't know. Damn.
an interesting thing that I've seen recently is it was about the top 6 keepers.
Yeah.
You've got your Keppers, who makes mistakes. Alisson's made mistakes recently. Edison's made mistakes recently. Lloris big time mistakes. Like, all these keepers do make mistakes, and I'm unfortunately going to lean for Ramsdale here, which is horrible to say.
On, I'm sorry, you're about to say Ramsdale's the best keeper.
No. I'm saying probably currently in the Premier League, which is technically the best league in the world. I'm a Chelsea fan, man. Okay, let me finish my sentence. Has he made a mistake since he's joined Arsenal in any that's led to a goal?
Not off the top of my head, but probably, yeah.
But you can't think of it, though, can you?
Also, you gotta with these top 6 keepers, you gotta understand that people like Edison and Alisson may face 1 or 2 shots a game because their defenses are so good. It's so different. I mean, you can.
No, it's true. It's true.
It's so different, right?
That's how I made my career out of UTR, to be honest. Barely have to do anything.
But you know what I mean? If you're only facing 1 or 2 shots a game, you're not going to be ready for it to almost happen all of a sudden. If they've got a quick counter, your head's not as switched on as the other keepers. They become top keepers only by making 1 or 2 saves a game.
That's true.
I think Aaron Ramsdale, okay, probably before this season, the defense was a bit weaker than this now. But before this season, he was facing 10 shots a game sometimes. So he's more prepared to be this flashy shot stopper. You see him always do the dives. For the
he's very Hollywood. Kepper's very Hollywood as well.
You think?
I think so, personally. We won't talk about the Chelsea keepers unless you want to.
I'm good. You know what, actually? So I think it's not a bad take. I think Ramsdale's definitely up there. I think it's hard to kind of say who the best goalkeeper is because it's very system orientated, right? So the best way to put it, I think Peter Schmeichel, once mentioned it. He said, look, if you put De Gea into Manchester City and put Edison in Manchester United, they would both be terrible because they don't fit those systems, right? And it's the same way as it's easy to potentially say Emi Martinez might be up there as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but in Aston Villa, he's questionable. But for Argentina, he's absolutely rock solid, right? So it's hard for me to say in that regards, but I think I'll definitely, at this current moment, just of how things are, I'll probably put Alisson or Edison up there. Yeah. Just because I think they're closest to complete. I know Edison is error prone at times and people question his saving ability and all of these things, but I think genuinely they're up there. And I'll probably also want to give a shout out to Ter Stegen. I think he's been very underrated this season, but he's kept so many clean sheets for Barcelona and he's been doing absolutely amazing. But because not many people talk about La Liga, it's very quick to kind of jump on him in that sense. But yeah, so I think definitely them, which is a shame because all time I'd say Neuer. But not Neuer.
Wait,
injuries and stuff.
All time of this generation or all time of all?
All time.
All time. That's a very controversial thing to say right at the end of the podcast.
That's fine because I know it's right. It doesn't seem so controversial when it's the truth, you know.
That's fair enough.
Shilton, we had.
Don't go there. Don't go to Peter Shilton. Well, thank you very much, John, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there any socials or anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, just make sure to give love to I was going to say give love to Big John. Feel free to do that as well. But yeah, it's Big John GK on pretty much everything. Your TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
Yeah, definitely check out the YouTube as well because I was watching a few videos the other day and it's not getting anywhere near the amount of views it deserves. The content is absolutely.
Oh, thank you very much, man.
No, fantastic. It's not got anywhere near the level of subscribers it deserves.
Oh, thank
definitely
you.
Check out the YouTube.
There are some. So I'm gonna do a little sneak peek for the people. This year I am planning on doing a really cool idea where I'm getting some of people's favorites involved in the channel in a nice little shooting challenge. So be prepared to see, your likes of Chris MD, Miniminter, maybe even JJ, maybe some footballers and whatnot. So that is the aim. So hopefully if things go to plan, it might be the place to look out for.
There's a lot to look forward to then.
To keep an eye on.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Do check us out on all of our other socials, all linked down below.
That in there.
Definitely keeping that in there. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I keep on trying to say this. I need to not say this.
See you for the next episode.
That's the one. I need to get better at this. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.